Hi, this is George Asplund from eVision. This is a multi-part video about Google Maps. In part one, I gave you an overview of Google Maps and why you should claim your listings, which will help improve the rankings, and you should also lead to more business by giving people more information in your local listings. In this part, I'm going to show you how to find your listings, how to edit them, and how to add new listings as well. So let's get started. First, you'll need to find your listings in Google Maps. So let me show you a couple ways to do that. Go to Google Maps, and you can first try searching on your domain name. For example, I'll just use Domino'sPizza.com. And that should bring up any listings that are associated with your website, but not all Google listings in the maps are associated with a website. Google gets the data for these listings from a number of sources, including Yellow Pages, and so they may not be associated with a website. So also search on your name, and you'll need to put in a location. A lot of our clients have multiple locations in multiple states, so you may have to do a few searches. But if you search on your name by state, for example, Connecticut, Domino's in Connecticut, you should find most of your listings this way. Once you've found your listing, just click on the More Info button here, the More Info link, and you should see an Add or Edit Your Business link somewhere. You can also click on the name, and it'll bring up this little box above the map, and you'll usually see an Edit button here. Again, these exactly how you do these things changes a lot, so you may need to look around a little bit. But when you find the Edit button, click on it. Next, I'm going to show you how to update the information in your listing, and to do that I'll use the eVision listing in Branford, Connecticut. I'll click on the Edit link, and I'll next click on Claim Your Business. Now, in order to update a listing, you will need a Google account. And you may already have a Google account. They're used for everything Google, Google Mail, AdWords, etc. So I'll just log in. In the next screen, you'll choose Edit My Business. And notice here, validating your listing. The first time you claim a listing, Google's going to send a letter with a PIN number for you to validate who you are. So I should point out that the reason we're seeing this for the eVision listing is I did update this listing some time ago, and never got the validation letter and completely forgot about it. So we're going to update the eVision listing together. Okay, now we're ready to update our listing. Let me first point out that this is the, as it says up here, the Google Local Business Center. Bookmark this, because this is where you're going to log into whenever you claim a listing or add or update a listing. And if you ever need to, just search on Google Local Business Center and you should find it. I'd like to change the way they have our name and address, but I'm not going to do that right now, because as it says here, if we change either of those, it'll require additional verification. So I'm going to make other changes for now, get it verified, then I'll come back and make more changes later. So I'm going to put our email address here, our website address here, and I would suggest that before you do your subscription, pick your categories, and I'll come back and show you why. So For categories, you may want to do a little searching to see what some other companies are listed as. But you can just start typing in, and Google will suggest some categories. So for example, I'm just going to start typing in internet, and you'll see internet marketing service. That's one of our categories, so I'm going to just choose that. And I'm going to add another. We are also do web design, so I'll choose web designer. And that's it for us. That's our two main categories. Now I'm going to come back up to the description, and the description is very important. You want to give as much thought to your description as you would if you were updating HTML page titles and meta descriptions on a page. The goal here is to write a description that helps sell yourself to those who are interested in what you have to offer. And if it can include one or two important keyword phrases that people search on, that should help this your listing rank better. And if you mention at least some of the words and phrases for the categories that you're going to be in, that should help as well. Now you only have 200 characters here, so you're going to have to be very concise. I have one already written. I'm just going to paste it in. And now as we scroll down, you can see you can list your hours. A little further down, you can tell people what kind of payment options you have, and you can also upload some photos. You can put up to 10 photos and even videos, and this can really help sell your service a lot. So that's all I'm going to put in. I'm going to click submit. And I could have Google call me on the phone right now, but it's actually about 8 o'clock in the evening, so I'm just going to go for the postcard option. Just make sure the address will get to me, even though it's not quite right. It should get to me, and then I'm going to click finish. And after I click finish, we come to the confirmation page where Google tells us that they'll send the verification letter within 2 weeks. And right here, what to do if it doesn't arrive. And this time, I'm going to schedule this. If I don't get it within about 3 weeks, I'm going to copy this now and put it somewhere where I'll be able to find it. When you log back into Google Local Business Center, you'll come to a dashboard where you'll see all your listings. You can edit them some more. If you haven't gotten your verification letter and it's been too long, there'll be a request verification link here, so you can request it again. And this is where you also come to add a new listing. In other words, if Google doesn't have a listing for one of your locations, this is where you'll come to add it. It's very similar to the listing screen that we looked at before. I did neglect to point out that you can click here to add some additional phone numbers. And when you're finished, you'll just click next. There's a couple other screens we'll go through. But again, it's very similar to what we went through before. If it turns out that you weren't able to find a listing that was already in Google and you try to add it, Google will usually detect that by the address, and you'll get a message as you go along. Finally, let me point out, when you're in the Local Business Center, you can click on the help link, which brings up another screen with all the topics. There's a lot of good information here, including the guidelines, which you should take a look at before you submit a new listing. That's it. Thank you for your time.